Hi, this is lesson 10-1, and we're going to review real quickly how to convert a fraction into a decimal, round to the nearest thousands, and then into a percent, round to the nearest tenth of a percent. Our first problem is 12 over 23. So to convert this first of all into a decimal, we want to take 12 and divide it by 23 in our calculator. So we would just put in the calculator 12 divided by 23. And in your calculator, you should get the number 0.52173913. And we want to round this number to the nearest thousandths. Thousandths is the third place there. Okay, third place after the decimal. And I can see the number to the right of it is a 7. Since this number is 5 or greater, it's going to bump this 1 up to a 2. So to round to the nearest thousandths is going to be 0.522. Then we want to convert this to a percent. So to convert this to a percent, we're just going to move the decimal 2 places to the right. So that's 52.2%. And now we can see that this right here is the decimal, rounded to the nearest thousandths. And then this is the percent rounded to the nearest tenth of a percent. So by rounding the decimal to a thousandths and then converting it to a decimal, it automatically rounds that decimal to a tenth of a percent. Okay, let's go ahead and do number 2 now. Number 2 is 40 divided by 56. And when I put that in my calculator, I get 0.714285714. And once again, I want to round this to the nearest thousandths. That's our third place there. Since the number to the right of the 4 is a 2, the 4 is actually going to stay a 4. So my decimal is 0.714. So that's rounded to the nearest thousandths. Then to convert my decimal to a percent, I'm going to move my decimal 2 places to the right. So I get 71.4%. Okay, number 3. We have 7 divided by 15. And we put that in our calculator and we get 0.4. There's a lot of 6's here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a 7. And the calculator, what the calculator is doing is it just ran out of room, so it just rounded that last number up. Okay, so to our nearest thousandths, that's the third decimal place after the decimal. And since the number to the right of it is a 6, it's going to bump this 6 up to a 7. So it's going to be 0.467. That's our decimal, rounded to the nearest thousandths place. Once again, to convert it to a percent, move it 2 decimal places to the right. So 46.7%. Okay, now we're going to review how to find the mean, median, mode, and range. And you can see on here that it actually will tell you how to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. The directions are just right there. Okay, so I'm not going to read through that. You should have already read that by now. One thing to point out here is that the Greek letter mu looks like this is the symbol for mean. Okay, so let's go ahead and do number 4. So the first thing we want to do is find the mean. So to find the mean, we're just going to add all those numbers together. So I'm going to put my calculator 12 plus 7 plus 10 plus 5 plus 1 plus 3 plus 7 plus 4. So we're just going to add all these together. And when I do that, I get 49. Then I'm going to divide by how many numbers I have. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 numbers. Okay, and we're going to round to the nearest tenth. So 49 divided by 8 is 6.1. So my mean is 6.1. Okay, now we're going to find the median. And to find the median, what we need to do is we need to order these numbers. Oops, I'm going to go ahead and do a new page. going to go ahead and order these numbers from least to greatest. So I'm going to go 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 7, 10, 12. Then I need to find the middle of that. So since I have 8 numbers, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So right there is the middle, right between 5 and 7. So to find the median, what you do is if it's between 2 numbers, you add those 2 numbers together, 5 plus 7, and then divide that by 2. So that's 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So we know our median equals 6. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is find our mode. Our mode is the number that occurs the most. And if I look up there, 7 occurs twice. It's the only number that occurs more than once. So our mode is 7. And then to find the range, we're going to take our largest number, which is 12, and subtract from our smallest number, which is 1, and that gives us 11. Okay, let's go ahead and do number 5 now. So once again, we're going to find the mean. I'm going to add up all those numbers, which you should have already done by now. So our mean is going to be 213, and then there's 7 numbers there, so I divide by 7. And when I round to the nearest tenth, I get 30.4. Okay, then we want to find the median. So to find the median, we want to list these from least to greatest. So I have my smallest number here is 21. Then so I'm going to cross that off. Then I have 24, cross that off. Then we have 28. If we use that one, then I have 30. Then 31. Then 35. And then 44. Okay, we want to find our middle number. There's 7 numbers, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the 4th one is in the middle. So my median is 30. Okay, now we want to find the mode. And that's the number that occurs the most. If I look up here, I don't have any number that occurs more than another one. So we're going to say that the mode is none. And then our range, once again, is our largest number minus the smallest number. The largest number here is 44 minus the smallest number, which is 21. So our range is 23. Okay, number 6, the mean. When you add all those numbers up, you should have got 711. Divided it by 8 because there's 8 numbers. And you get 88.9. The median, I'm just going to tell you the answers for these last 2 to save time. It's going to be 91. In this case, the mode is also 91, the number that occurs the most. And the range, largest minus the smallest number, is going to be 26. Okay, and our last one, number 7, the mean for this one, when you add them all up, you get 238. Divide that by 8 because there's 8 numbers, and you get 29.8. The median is 29.5. The mode, there's actually 2 modes in this one, 2 numbers that occurs the most. Those 2 numbers are 25 and 38. So there's 2 modes. And then for the last one, our range is our largest number minus our smallest number, and that is 19. Okay, lesson for today. We are going to talk about a two-way table. And it says that a two-way table is a way to organize data from a single group as it relates to two different categories. And we're going to fill in the two-way table with the given data from the Venn diagram. So first of all, I need to give you the information to put in your Venn diagram. And the Venn diagram says, do you have a dog or a cat as a pet? And the numbers are going to be 38. And then right here in this little place they have together, that's 14. Then 27, and then off here in the corner outside both those circles is a 25. Let's go ahead and get those written down. Once you get those written down, see if you can start filling in the Venn diagram. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over here and then write that in smaller numbers up here. So once again, dog was 38. The area they share is 14. Cat was 27, and then down here was 25 outside of both of them. Okay, so I'm going to give you one more minute to go ahead and see if you can fill in the information there. Alright, so let's go through this. So first of all, I want to know how many people have both a cat and a dog. That's our first square right there. And we can see that's their joint area right up here. So there's going to be 14 people that have both a cat and a dog. Now this one next to it is how many people have a dog but no cat. So that's going to be this part right there. Dog but no cat. So that's 38. Then we're going to add these two numbers together to get our row total, which is going to be 52. Okay, then we're looking for how many people have a cat but no dog. And that is this part right there, so that's 27. Then the last one is how many people have neither a cat nor a dog. And that's actually at 25 right there. Once again, we're going to add those two numbers together and we get 52 again. Okay, now to get the column totals, we're just going to add them all together. So 14 plus 27 is 41. 38 plus 25 is 63. And 52 plus 52 is 104. Also, if we were going to add 41 plus 63, we would also get 104. So it should add up to the same number both directions. Now we're going to go ahead and use that information to answer the following questions. And we want to write each answer as a fraction, then as a percent, round to the nearest tenth of a percent if necessary. That's why we did the warm-up before, is to remember how to convert a fraction into a decimal round to the nearest thousandths, and then change it to a percent, and it'll be to the nearest it'll be to a percent to the nearest tenth. Okay, so number 2. What percent of people surveyed have a dog? So we're first of all looking at the fraction. What fraction of people have a dog? Well, that was, if I go back and look at this column, that is this one right here. How many people have a dog? It's that first row. Well, that's 52 people. Okay, so 52 people out of 104 have a dog. Now, 52 divided by 104 is just a nice 50%. Okay, what percent of people surveyed have a cat? I'm going to let you try 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Then we'll go through and answer them together. So try 3, 4, 5. Okay, number 3, what percent of people surveyed have a cat? If I go back and look at that table, I can see that this column right there represents the number of people who have a cat. So that total number is 41. So I know that 41 people out of 104 have a cat. And when you take 41 divided by 104, you're going to end up with 39.4%. Okay, percent of people that have both a cat and a dog. Well, that was 14 people had both a cat and a dog. So 14 divided by 104, and that as a percent should be 13.5%. Make sure you're putting these fractions in your calculator and that you're getting the same percents that I am. Okay, so you understand how to convert them from a decimal to a percent, rounded to the nearest tenth of a percent. Okay, number 5, what percent of people surveyed had neither? Well, there were 25 people out of 104 that had neither, and that is 24%. Okay, you go ahead and do 6 and 7. Also do 8 and 9. So do 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. I'll give you about 1 minute to work on those. Okay, what percent of people surveyed do not have a cat? Well, that is going to be under the no cat column. So let me go back real quick and look at that. So no cat, the column total for that one is 63. So we have 63 people out of 104 that do not have a cat. That gives us 60.6%. Okay, what percent of people surveyed have a cat, dog, or both? Okay, so what percent of people have a cat, dog, or both? Okay, if I go back and look at my table here, well, up here I can see these are all the people right here. You see me circling that have a dog, cat, or both. So I have 38 plus 14 plus 27, and that equals 79. So I'm going to go back over here. So 79 people out of 104, which is then 76%. I could have also gone the other way and said, well, I know there's 104 people minus the 25 that have neither. That would give me 79 that have one or both. Okay, number 8. What percent of people who have a dog do not have a cat? Okay, let's go back and look at that 2A table. So the question again was, who have a dog do not have a cat? And we have gotten really messy here, so I'm going to clean this up real quickly here. So we can kind of read that. I'm going to fill it back in again really quickly. Okay, so the question is, what percent of people who have a dog? Well, how many people have a dog? That's 52 people. So that is actually going to be my denominator. Out of those 52 people, how many do not have a cat? That is 38. So my fraction here is going to be 38 out of 52. So I have 38 people out of 52. So this is 52 people have a dog, and out of those 52 people, 38 do not have a cat. And that is going to be 73.1%. Okay, then our next one says, what percent of people who have a cat do not have a dog? Well, I know from my 2A table that 41 people have a cat. Out of those 41 people that do not have a cat, 27 do not have a dog. So my fraction is going to be 27 out of 41, which is going to be 65.9%. Okay, what conclusions can be made from this data? Well, there's several, and you're supposed to be using a complete sentence. So a couple of things that I've noticed is that more people have a dog than a cat, because 50% of the people had a dog, but only 39.4% of people have a cat. Okay. The other one is that if you have a dog, you're more likely to not have a cat than a person who has a cat that doesn't have a dog. So that was another one I saw. Three-fourths people surveyed had one or the other or both. So there's another conclusion we can come up with. And another conclusion we can come up with is that only 13.5%, that's not very many people, have both. So generally, people prefer one or the other. Someone's more likely to not have a dog or cat than they are to have both. Okay, so once again, when you're doing that on your homework, just make sure you're using complete sentences. It's coming up with some conclusions that you can find from the data. Okay, on to page 419. A dot plot. A dot plot is a type of graphic display used to compare frequency counts within categories or groups. So your dot plot there on the right is number of siblings, and these are the x's that should be above them. And we're going to, so go ahead and write those down. So you have 1x above 0, 3 above number 1, 4 above 2, 2 above 3, 1 above 4, and 1 above 6. So go ahead and fill that dot plot out like that. And, you know, sometimes people use, different books will do some different things. Sometimes you'll see an X to do that. Sometimes you'll see an actual dot instead. It might come through and you'll actually see dots like this. So you may have seen them both ways. Okay, just means the same thing. So number 11 asks us to write out the data as a list of numbers given this dot plot. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and list these numbers. So what I can see here is that I have one family or one person that has 0 siblings. So my first number is 0. Okay, and then I have 3 people that have 1 sibling. So I have 3 ones. I have 4 people that have 2 siblings. So we have 4 twos. And then 2 people with 3 siblings. 1 person with 4 and 1 person with 6. So there's our list of numbers. Okay, and now we can use that list of numbers to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. So let's go ahead and find the mean. So to find the mean, I'm going to add up all those numbers down there. So I'm going to go 0 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2. So we're going to add all those up in our calculator. And we're on number 12 right now. When I add up all those numbers, I'm going to give you a minute to do that. Go ahead and find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Also, answer number 16. And you'll notice on 12 and 13 it says to round to the nearest whole number. Okay, when you added up all those numbers, you should have gotten 27. Then there are 12 numbers there, so we're going to divide by 12. And round to the nearest whole number should give you 2. Okay, then our median, that is the middle number. So remember, I have 12 numbers. So I'm going to find right between 6 and 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So my median is right there. So my median is also 2. It's my middle number. Number 14, the mode. So what is the number that occurs the most? Well, I can see that I have 4 2s right there. And that's the number that occurs the most. So my mode is 2. And my last one is going to be the range. The range is the largest number minus the smallest number, so my range is 6. Okay, I also asked how many people were surveyed. Well, I can count up how many numbers I have, which are 12, or I can go back and look here and count the dots. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 people were surveyed. So my answer for number 16, so number 16, the answer there is going to be 12. There were 12 people surveyed. Okay, go ahead now and answer questions 17, 18, and 19. Okay, what fraction percent of those surveyed had one sibling? Well, that would be 3 people had one sibling out of the 12 surveyed. 3 divided by 12 is going to be 0.25, which is 25%. And what fraction of those surveyed had 2 or 3 siblings? Well, there were 6 people that had 2 or 3 siblings. So that's going to be 6 out of 12, which is 50%. Then our last one is what percent of those surveyed had more than 2 siblings? Now that's more than 2 siblings. It doesn't include 2 siblings. So there were, let's go back and look real quick. There were, right here, 4 people. So there were 4 people out of the 12 that had more than 2 siblings. So that is 33.3%. Okay, so let's go on to number 20 now. Okay, so go ahead and copy down the dot plot there. You can either use dots or you can use X's. It doesn't matter, whichever one you prefer. And while you're doing that, this video is about to run out of time. So I'm going to go ahead and end this one, and then we'll have the sub pick up where we left off and have the sub start the second video.